Hi guys, welcome to this unboxing video. Just a bit of background. I found this telescope. I remembered I had a telescope on my mother's loft in storage, so I went and got it out and wrapped it up and brought it back. So and here we are. So now we've got the box open. We're inside, and what I found was that my daughter is getting really interested in the planets and things like that. So I decided that I'd get the telescope out and maybe we could check out the moon or some of the planets. There was a conjunction going to take place, but it turns out that it was like very early in the morning that we would need to be able to do that. So we decided to give it a little bit of a miss. So these are the guides that came in with the telescope. As you say, there's one for the moon, there's one for the planets, and gives you some basic things on it. And this is the receipt that I got for the. I think comes with a 10-year guarantee. This telescope, and this is the receipt. So I bought it from Index. It was all the way back in 1997 was when I got this. So that's how long this telescope has been stored away. This is the assembly instructions. They're just telling you how to put all the elements together. And then, I decided I'll put everything back, get everything out of the box just to check and make sure that all of the pieces were still there. And then we can put it together. So that's a rack for in between the legs to hold them steady. The main body in the mount, and those are the legs. So have a quick look at the instructions and see which bits I should follow, and which bits I should put together first. Now just checking to see if there was any more information in here for putting a telescope together. But this was like a guide on how to care for and look after your telescope, as well as how to, clean it, and some constellations that you might expect to see at different times of year in the sky. Okay, so this is the main body. I have the two kind of mounting screws there, and see there's actually a screw missing on one of the side mounts there, so that appears to be the only thing missing out of that section. And there's the mount for it. A few screws and everything else in there. And then here we have the different lens assortments, which give it different ranges. I think there's a 2.3 or a 2.4 Barlow lens in there, and a 1.5 kind of a spotting lens, and of course the spotting rangefinder on there, which is one of the first things to put on. And that can just be screwed on by hand. See, checking the type of screws that is required, and there they are. So they screw in easily, and you can just do it by hand. And that's the spotting scope. That actually it just kind of sits in between three adjustable things which you can use to line up on something in the distance before you start looking through the telescope, so you can kind of get a rough idea of where your telescope is pointing. So it's kind of adjustable using those three screws that hold it in place. And you can mount either of those three directly into the telescope. So you can put on the most powerful 2.3 Barlow extension, or you can put on the 1.5, or you can have none on it and have it at its kind of lowest magnification. Again, they go in easy, and they just tighten with a small screw that you just tighten by hand. Okay, so let's get into the legs. We'll get the tripod assembled for it. So they are heavy, wooden, with, let's say, that little metal catch on the side. To hold them open at all times. And it just screws on with a couple of washers. One on either side, and a wing nut. Making sure, of course, that the little metal flaps are on the inside of the leg, so that you can attach the kind of the space little holder that comes in with it. It's very useful for holding your lenses and things like that. Also helps keep the tripod nice and sturdy when you're using it. I have to say it was a little bit fiddly to get fitted. But we got there. Especially with the limited space that I was working with on the table. But it really does help keep it nice and sturdy, so you don't get much wobble when you're looking at the stars, because you're looking at such high magnifications and objects that are a long way away, that just the slightest little knock and, you know, everything kind of blurs and goes out of, moves through the frame very quickly of what you can see through the telescope. Its field of view is very, very narrow. Those are just little screws in the bottom there that kind of tighten the disc against the frame to allow you to extend the legs if you need to. And then the final bit is attaching the screws to either side, which you'll then need to tighten when you've got your tripod in position. You want it kind of, so you want those to be strong enough to be able to hold it in position, but loose enough that you can still, change the position of the tripod and the direction of the telescope itself, so you can still tilt up and down. And for the panning, there's a little screw that just attaches into the base of there for holding it into place. But there we go. All in all, fairly easy and straightforward to put together. It's a nice little telescope, and I'm looking forward to using it with my daughter to see what we can see in the night sky. I did some testing with it and actually just used my phone and put it up against the lowest powered eyepiece, which I think is 16mm, and it didn't do too bad a job of just getting some shots of some of the pigeons on the building next to where we live, just to give you an idea of the magnification and the power of it. But hopefully we'll be able to get a good shot of the moon soon, and I'll try and get some footage uploaded of that.